Okay, we both know you do this to make your mix brighter. You also sweep like crazy and do a wild amount of cuts. And well, more bass means a bigger boost, right? Don't feel offended. It was just an assumption, since many people happen to commit those adjustments and then wonder why they have 182 revisions on their mixes. Just to be clear though, I'm not talking about individual tracks, more or less sound design. It's all about the mastering EQ moves you should unlearn right now. Starting off with low register, this should basically be forbidden. If you have monitors or headphones on right now, then sure, you can hear the rumble, but does it sound like a clean and smooth bass to you? Yeah, but the legendary Pultec trick asks you to boost low frequencies. Well, in case you missed it, it also asks you to attenuate those after. That brings me to 3 main tips and alternatives. First one is fixing the level. Pretty obvious, but you need to have access to individual tracks. Second thing is boosting the right area, and a third one is a bit of saturation. First, let's focus on right area. It may come as a surprise for some, but no matter which bass drum preset I use, it always asks me to cut the deep low end part and focus more on boosting 160 Hz or even above. That's where your bass starts to feel more audible on smaller speakers, plus it gains its power and juiciness on a proper system. Speaking of saturation, in many use cases it's a god tier alternative for EQ boosts, and this example is no exception. It's better to use the tool that you are more comfortable with, but make sure that it has some form of filtering, like for example Ignite tab in Animate. By using it like that, you can target saturation, or in case of Animate, harmonic distortion to lowered frequencies. When I was starting out, I fell into a trap of doing this. Basically, every old YouTube tutorial suggested so. After getting feedback from my first clients, I always heard that it's okay, but something is missing, or something peaks out randomly out of nowhere, and I couldn't wrap my head around what's the purpose of it. And you know, that's exactly what you get if you decide to call all of those resonant peaks and buildups your enemies and cut them like there's no tomorrow. Some of them may end up useful, but you can't miss 2 most important factors. If you search for resonances like that, most likely you will find tons of them, and auditioning them in solo is very, very dangerous. In case you don't know where I'm going with all of this, dynamic reduction is far more useful, sounds better, and in general, it's just safe for your mix. Our plugin Reso ticks all of those boxes. Searching for resonant peaks is far more pleasing due to dynamic volume matching, and as we speak about the reduction, then well, it responds dynamically with all the useful options to adjust threshold, bandwidth, and underrated but super useful delta mode. Just to double check if you are not removing important elements. Time for the legendary high-end boost. Some may say that this kind of curve above 20 kHz does nothing to your mix, but believe me, it does. You see, high-end is a very tricky area. All of the most important and musical elements happen to meet here. And while some may occupy it for a very short time, things like perks, hi-hats, cymbals, vocals, and leads fight for the space all the time. Your ears will quickly adapt to it, and as you sit on a mix for longer, you may fall into the trap of overcompensating imaginary low mix with high-end boost. The result is obviously boosting everything in that area, and while it may sound cooler, brighter, and louder for you, the next day, the only thing you hear is Shimmer. Unfortunately, there are no right or wrong moves for this particular range, so as always, the best bet is to rely on reference tracks. Although it's really important to properly level match those references, since remember, brighter feels louder, but in fact, it's not. If you made it here, then first leave a like and listen. It's not that all of those tonal adjustments are bad or forbidden, despite this one obviously, but your mastering EQ moves should always be as gentle and well planned as possible. Mastering is an art of polishing, so if something needs more than a broad boost, cut, or a couple of resonances removed, then the best idea is to probably get back to your mixing stage. Luckily for you, we have a whole range of focused and detailed mixing videos, so pick a topic you struggle the most with, or feel free to leave a comment with your mixing questions and topic requests.